Do you look at Netflix as a competitor?
We basically look at whatever's out there, wherever people are engaging with content deeply and having some kind of experience.
So that includes TikTok, that includes Instagram, and that includes Netflix?
Again, we just look broadly at wherever there are people.
One more on, okay, so one more
And I
on
hope
Netflix
that you would
then.
play Monopoly Go at least with me.
Yeah, we'd play Monopoly Go.
Okay,
I would do that. I would definitely do that.
Good, good.
I said I wouldn't play it with Carol. I'll play with you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Ouch.
Here's why.
I don't think I want to play Boggle either.
She's
though.
she's way too competitive.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we would be on a team together.
There we go.
I'm one
Okay.
of 7 kids. You're going to be competitive. It's just the way
I
it
get it.
happens.
So Greg Peters was asked like how it's going 3 years in with games at Netflix, and he said he'd give himself a B-. He'd give the company a B-. Do you agree? Would you give him a B-?
I can only speak about Scopely, and I would give us, high marks for being on an amazing trajectory. And I think the entire space of gaming is extremely exciting, and I think that there's a lot more to come, and it continues to grow, and that's what's important. So whoever is playing in that space, we welcome it because it's healthy.
Eunice, go to that trajectory, because we talked with Samira Bakhtari. She's a general manager.
Yes.
You know who she is.
Yes.
And there were some stats that she talked about recently at the NAB event in Las Vegas, and she talked about gaming. 3.5 billion people playing video games every week. Nearly 1 in every 2 people on our planet. Man, that's a massive market.
Yes.
Talk to us about your piece of that, your own growth that you're seeing in your trajectory.
Yeah, again, it's been pretty astounding. I mean, if you just look at the last 12 months, for example, we had 500 million unique users touching Scopely games.
That's a lot.
You think about a lot of really interesting things, how engaged our community is with these IPs that they love in these games. A stat that I love is, for example, Star Trek Fleet Command. 75% of our players on that game, they're touching the game every single day and in a meaningful way. This isn't like, I'm in and I'm out.
How long do they stay?
It totally depends, but I would say Star Trek Fleet Command is like in a category of its own in terms of that kind of fan base. It depends on the game and the type of genre it is.
But give us an idea. That one's a success story.
That's a success story. But Monopoly Go, I mean, people are touching that game every day. Like it's like an amazing, amazing amount of loyalty and engagement, and it's because we're creating something that people want to return to every day. We definitely are live operating these games, which is really important.
But is it 10 minutes? Is it 50? Like, I'm always curious about the specifics. What can you share?
It honestly depends on the genre. So in a casual game, you might have a lower range like touch point, and then in some of these other games, which are a little bit more involved, you can spend hours.
Wow.
What's kind of the secret sauce that creates these hits after hits? Is it the franchise, and you're like tapping into something that resonates with so many different people, like Monopoly or Star Trek or Pokemon?
Yeah.
That was the Niantic acquisition, which we'll get to in a minute. But, or is it the tech platform behind it?
I think it's a combo of all of it. I do want to make sure people understand, though, Scopely comes at it from a point of view of creating these highly social and engaging games that creates a community. We think about our players first and foremost, like what is it they want to see? Then these amazing IP partnerships that we enter into, we go in with so much deep respect for what that IP is. We spend a lot of time truly understanding how the current fan base engages with that IP, what they want and hope for in it. And if they were to see it in a reimagined way, that's our job. We bring that innovation to it, but first you got to really understand what they want. And I think we do that uniquely well.
Do those brands come to you?
It goes both ways. Sometimes we're approached, sometimes we approach.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, because you say you kind of look at everything to figure out what's going to catch the attention of an existing user or bring in new people. But I am curious what things really grab. Like you mentioned Monopoly versus Star Trek. Like Star Trek, people are obsessed. Is there any theme in terms of what keeps people playing a game on a platform?
But I think even if you look at Star Trek and then you look at Monopoly, which seem on the surface to be very different types of fan bases, there's something about that, how deeply embedded those IPs are in those communities. Monopoly is, at a level where everybody recognizes it, has those feelings about playing the board game as a kid or as an adult with their family. And that's something we took really seriously when we went on that journey. We were like,
Right.
how do we create those emotional highs and lows when you're like bankrupting your sister, your brother, your 6 siblings, and how amazing that feels.
We were aggressive as players. And we always watched who was the banker.
Exactly. But how do you recreate that in a whole new way and still create those like same feelings?
What's the demographics of people on your platform?
It's, again, it totally varies. I think what's really compelling and interesting about mobile as a platform is how it basically crosses all geographies, age groups, genders. It's very diverse, depending, again, on the genre of game and the type of game, but you have many females playing the games, which is really, really awesome. And it's not the typical stereotype of what people think of as gamers.
So Scopely was bought by Savvy Games Group. That's owned by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. That was back in 2023, $4.9 billion acquisition. I bring this up because of the recent news about EA will be taken private by a group that includes Silver Lake, but also Saudi Arabia's PIF. What do you think the opportunity that Saudi Arabia sees in gaming is?
I think gaming is just such a fast growing, amazing segment in industry. And I think, for me, that announcement just gives me so much joy because I'm like, people understand that they see that opportunity and it makes the ecosystem bigger. And I think it's exciting.
Will your relationship with EA change? Will you be able to, since you'll have ownership from the same funds, will you be able to work with EA or not?
So we're not in active discussions with them at this moment, but we have so much respect for what EA has built, and should opportunities come up post deal close, we would definitely be open to entertaining them.
Because you play in different spaces.
Mm-hmm. Yes and no.
They have some franchises that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, could be taken mobile. That would be pretty big, right?
I can't comment on EA's strategy or the platforms that they are successful or not on, but again, I think they have done an amazing job with their IPs. They have created a lot of great franchises, and if there were to be opportunities, we would certainly be open to entertaining them.
When you think about where you want the company, you guys and your management team, in, 5 years, 10 years, I'm never quite sure what the right time,
window, yeah.
Because things are happening so quickly, and you're seeing it. We see it play out, in the markets. Companies are not wasting time. Just look at what's happened with AI over the last couple of years and how it's changed the market narrative, the business narrative. But how do you think, and give us the time frame that you think is a smart one?
I would say I learned early on in gaming, having been in it for over 2 decades, that the projections are never going to be right, so don't project out too far. But you always have to have your eye on the ball. But I think for Scopely, we just want to continue our trajectory that we're on, which is pretty awesome. We want to continue to expand the audiences that we have globally, geographically, genre-wise. So we're pretty focused on continuing to acquire more players and have more folks in our ecosystem and hopefully bring them joy.
Eunice, when you think about your ecosystem, Tim and I talk to a lot of companies and folks that are on kind of the learning side of things. And a lot of what you do is entertainment, right? And it's fun. But is that also a space that you guys think of using gaming to teach, or I don't know, is there an educational component, or is it not really something that you guys
for Scopely, it's not part of our mainline strategy. We really are all about creating sort of social connection and community engagement in kind of the gaming way, and making sure that these IP extensions that we are in partnership with are really amazing for those fans.
So Niantic, Scopely bought Niantic's games business, Pokémon GO, Monster Hunter Now, and more for $3.5 billion. We talked about the EA take private deal. Why are we seeing so much consolidation in gaming?
I can't speak to the overall gaming industry, but I think...
But it. You've been in it for 2 decades.
I think you could speak to it, actually.
I do too.
Look, for us... being able to have Pokémon GO, which is like a forever game.
Yeah.
This is 10 decades on,
amazing.
And it still is growing, and has an amazing community behind it. For us, it was one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that we knew we wanted, and it was a company that we were able to have that kind of conversation with. So they have done some amazing things. I think they're very unique in terms of also their in real life events, and the way they reach their community in that way. And so for us, it was something that added something different, but also kind of connected 2 companies along the joy of gaming.